No more.
That's right.
So Cobweb is about a boy, and I'm going to read it off of the IMDb plot description, named Peter, who starts to slowly discover a sinister secret being kept from him from his parents. This is a loose description of what is written on IMDb, and I purposefully left additional things out for horror enthusiasts who want to go into the movie without knowing anything. You know why? Because the trailer and even the poster, don't look at the poster, proves to be a disservice to the movie itself. You will enjoy it more if you have no idea about the movie whatsoever. It's directed by Samuel Bowden, who's relatively not too well known, but I'm hoping this would change after this movie. The only other thing I watched which he directed was that Netflix show Marianne, which I didn't like. So the movie stars Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Starr, and Cleopatra Coleman, with Woody Norman playing the child through whom you see the movie unfold. I was checking his IMDb and I have not seen his other works, but he is in The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I believe is simultaneously released. Difference is Cobweb went straight to VOD, which is truly unbelievable. And I think it got a limited release, which is again another disservice to the movie. I don't know why Lionsgate decided to do that, but it should have gotten a bigger release. This review is spoiler free, but I have to say there isn't much to talk about if I plan to do a spoiler talk, which brings me to the story itself. I read that it was loosely adapted from Edgar Allan Poe's short story The Telltale Heart. I have read that story a long time ago, and I do see some slight connections of where the inspirations came from. But if you haven't read that story, I'd recommend you watch the movie first. My biggest gripe from the movie is its unusual third act, which I found to be a little lazy and yet hastily done. There were some choices taken with a certain character reveal which just threw me out of the movie experience, and the first two acts were decently paced. I also found the movie, up until the last act, to have a fairy tale-like quality to it, and the music by Drum and Lace, which I mostly appreciated because it had those childlike fairy tale notes to it. The production design was solid. The location where they shot the movie was, I believe, Bulgaria, which added to the European look of the house that was featured in the movie and overall the movie itself. But my favorite set was that backyard where they show the family has grown a crop of pumpkins, and I thought the mood of that entire scene was great. Cinematography was good, but there are some bizarre camera movement choices that took me by surprise, and I mean that not in a good way. As for the screenplay, I think it's serviceable. It gets the job done. The dialogues are okay for a horror movie. I think I've seen more compelling stuff in this year in horror compared to this. But on the merits of a horror movie itself, how does Cobweb performs? I think the scale sort of turns towards the good side and lesser on the bad side. There are more positives than negatives. Now, Woody Norman, who plays Peter in the movie, is mostly great. He had to deal with only negative emotions in the movie, like fear, and mostly fear. So he did a good job. Lizzie Kaplan played the mother character in the movie with a certain bottled up panic, and I think the way I wanted her character to erupt in certain situations, she did not. I mean, she's such a great actress, but maybe she was channeling a little Annie Wilkes energy here from Castle Rock. On the other hand, my boy Homelander was classic Homelander here, passive and intimidating. I do wish Anthony Starr tries something different here too. But to his credit, maybe it's the material he was given to work with. Overall, the film is a decent time at the movie, so if you find a seat at the cinemas for this, go for it. To me, it's a 7 over 10 recommended. And hey, this was my first movie review on the channel. And if you think it helped you out making up your mind to watch the movie or not, do give this video a thumbs up and show me you'd like to watch more. And please don't forget to subscribe.